I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I try to escape. I think I'm drowning, this feeling gets stronger, and I'm not quite ready to break.
It was so damn worth the wait. Every second, every day, to wait for you to hold my hand. And there is so much more to say. I could kiss you for a lifetime, stay awake to watch you sleep. Fell in love with your sweet smile. You're my love and you're my life. You're my love and you're my life. You're my love and you're my life. It was so damn worth the pain. Sleepless nights and countless days. You're my sun after the rain. Oh babe, there's so much more to say. I protect you for a lifetime, keep you warm and keep you safe. Fell in love with your sweet eyes. You're the love of my life. You're the love of my life.
Good evening, ladies and germs, and thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast.gg scrim night. We have a special rendition for you on this Monday evening. It is a core brawl. I am joined on in this caster booth by none other than my co-caster Elite. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, man. How are you doing?
I am excited for another core brawl. Has been a while since you and I have been on these scrim nights, and been a while since we've seen one of these core brawls too. Just as a reminder for those sitting at home, if you have not seen a core brawl or have taken part in one of these before, they're pretty fun. They follow a pretty standard competitive rule set, much like Owl. 4 maps are going to start out predetermined, as it's going to be these followed: hybrid, assault, control, escort, and if we go to that map 5, it's going to be control as well. The next map pick is always determined by the opposing team. That, if they want to attack, it is completely up to them. Now, with that being said, we have a couple of known teams around here. I have seen Cryius and Desperados on these team sheets before, though Cryius not so mentioned in the past. Elite, you want to tell us a little bit about these guys?
Well, over on the side of Cryius, we're going to have it's going to be Apostle, who's going to be the big team captain and likes to play tanky. They list him as a flex, but his preferred hero is Reinhardt, so he'll be coming out in that tank spot, as well as OG playing a support, likes to play Zenyatta. And then they have kind of a different concept when it comes to their hero compositions here, where they have Vengeful, Bison, and Rafiki on a flex DPS, where they like to play Doomfist, Tracer, and Genji. You don't know how much we'll actually be seeing the 3 DPS, but that is what they have, as their favorites. And then down at the bottom, Glue Stick, also listed as a flex, but the preferred hero of Zarya. So so I would expect those 2 big tanks, Glue Stick and Apostle, up in the front, Reinhardt, Zarya. The team has been together since January of this year, so that's about 5-6 months. Long time for a team to be together. Favorite team composition to run is Dive. Dive, always very, very popular. And least favorite map is 2CP, so that goes along with pretty much everyone. And their favorite map, actually the newest map to be added, is Rialto. So that's going to pretty much round it out for Cryius. What do you think of the side of Desperados? What can you tell us about them?
Desperados is led by Pray for GG's. One of the cooler parts about Pray for GG's is that he is none other than a Zenyatta main. I feel for this man in particular. You know me as a support main in particular. Zenyatta is a very prevalent role, and being a in-game leader and shot caller on that position is even more important to lead the Discord orbs and lead the dive. On the front line, we have Garlic Bread and Pills. Preferring to play Reinhardt and Zarya in this current meta, I can only imagine. Backed by their DPS of Ultra and Wolfer, preferring to play Hanzo and Pharah. A lot of spam composition, and they can elongate a team fight at a snap of a finger in need be. And to round out the back line with Pray for GG's on that Zenyatta will be Galaxy. Preferring to play Mercy, a very prevalent hero, a very important hero. I always like to stick by that, even though I am a hard and a main stuck in GM himself. It's very impressive itself because Valkyrie, I mean, Elite, we've seen Valkyrie be able to use before a team fight, in the middle of a team fight, and it can turn a team fight at a flick of a wrist. But that going forward, they don't really enjoy, they say RIP to Classic Dive, considering that their heroes are listed as Reinhardt and Zarya. I'm interested to see if we see the Nerf Brigetta to come out, or if they're just going to stick to standard Deathball as we're moving into our first map of New Bonnie.
Our first map will be New Bonnie, our first hybrid map of the night. And I know that they say their favorite is Dive, and then they have the RIP, but from your point of view, is Dive really dead? Because we still see it ran a lot, or do you really think that it's not as strong as the Reinhardt Zarya that has really gotten a big jump?
If there's one thing I can definitely tell you after hanging out over in the EU region, especially through Contenders Trials, is that Dive is not dead, my friend. And Dive itself has always been good at one thing, and why it's always been so important to be able to run Dive in a team composition and a team format is because you can punish bad position, especially on a Zenyatta. I was mentioning how important that Discord Orb is. Transcendence, even more important to cancel out an ultimate at need be, and when he's out of position and he gets punished by a coordinated dive, oh, that's a one-team fight in your favor, if I've ever said one.
Yeah, for them, I agree. Putting RIP on the dive. Dive is still very, very popular. Winston and Diva, they can dive right in. Like you said, Zenyatta and Mercy. A good coordinated dive is pretty much the end of any low health squishy supports that are sitting down on the back line. But either way, we're going to dive into game real quick. Over on the side of Cryius, up in the top right, you see Ignaro on the Zarya. That is Glue Stick coming in on just an alias there. It will be Ignaro. And anyway, over on the side of Cryius, looks like they're going to be coming with Genji and Tracer on the DPS, and actually they're just going to come on out with the full dive. So we just talked about how full dive, they're talking about how it's dead and rested in pieces, but Cryius is coming out with it right now on their attack. Over on the defense, sorry, I was just going to point out that they were coming with the Junkrat and the Soldier, yeah.
I'm excited though, because you saw Pills come out on this Brigitte, and the second that they see the dive target come into this big meaty defense, they're gonna get stun blocked all to hell, my friend, and that's exactly what you see happen to this diva immediately.
Yeah, already with the D-Mech, as Garlic Bread is able to lock that one up. So with Apostle already in the D-Mech, we'll see if they're able to keep this big first attack alive. Ignaro taken down very low, going to be forced to jump out, but we do see that Rafiki got taken out. So with that big DPS gone, then that will pretty much shut down this first attack, as Apostle is gone as well in the baby diva. So the first attempt there at the attack will get shut down, and like you said, they come out with that big stun meta. Pills will drop in and hit that big shield bash, and with the damage that Soldier and Junkrat can do, these tanks are going to get melted off of that shield bash when we're just unable to move.
Yeah, the Stun Maiden of Brigitte in full effect here. And to keep in mind here, this is a solo tank composition on defense here. President around Garlic Bread's Orisa, just to keep him alive, using the shield properly, so that way Ultra can get a very quick Riptire. The dive's coming through again, and it's going to get stun locked. You have to wonder if they're going to swap anytime soon.
Yeah, Ignaro dove right up there, and like you said, stun locked again, and there's the D-Mech onto Apostle, so both big tanks already gone, and that's going to pretty much shut down another attack coming out from the side of Cryius. They'll be forced to back up yet again. 90 seconds gone already. Both DPSs over on the side of Desperado building up their ultimates, as they have both of them ready. Pills but to have the rally ready as well. Oh, and we see a swap coming out, as Apostle will be the first one to switch as he makes a swap over to Reinhardt. Ignaro's on the way back, so I would expect him to make a switch as well. There it is, as they're coming out with the Reinhardt Zarya.
Ryan, Zarya, there's Bison swapping over to Storm Hanzo 2.0. It's been a while, my friend, since I've seen you in current patch outside of playing myself. But Rafiki's sticking on this Genji, so the dive's going to have to get through here. Nearing the Dragon Boy, it's not going to do much going into this rally. By Pills already blocked on the defense, as the offense is already shielding their way in.
And here comes the Riptire out from Ultra. A good pick can pretty much just shut this one down immediately. And there it is, as he takes out the Reinhardt. Ignaro gone as well. So already both tanks dead, as Garlic Bread locked up that one. They're going to keep this one going, though, as Rafiki brings out the Dragon Blade. And they do have that kill onto Ultra, but he's not able to get anything with his Dragon Blade. Is Rafiki, and a res will bring Ultra back in. So it's like nobody ever died, and with a good Riptire from Ultra, as well as the rally from Pills, again shuts down another attack, and they're already down to just about 60 seconds left on their attack. We're looking at a possible full hold right now from Desperados.
Might as well be. I mean, they're going to have two support ultimates in between Galaxy and Pray for GGs to play in between these last two team fights if they get wiped quick enough. From the tactical visor from Wolfer, Rafiki's going to swap over to Soldier himself to try to deal some of this elongated damage, but it's not going to do much so long as they're just back behind these shields.
Yeah, and he's going to have this aimbot ready, so we'll see how he's going to be able to turn the tides here, because there's no ultimates ready. They have their support ultimates, but no big DPS or tank ultimates. But that pick on the Garlic Bread may be what they need. And not able to get the rest, so with two gone already, they're off to a good start, as Bison was able to get both of those. Aimbot's going to come out from Wolfer, really not able to get anyone with this, so Cryius is still on top in this fight. They already filled the first tick, and it looks like Desperados is going to back off and let them have it. So it took them quite a while, but with 30 seconds left, they will eventually cap this, and they'll get this payload moving.
A big punish on to Galaxy, who got whittled down. I'm trying to res Garlic Bread. Again, solo tank hold here on first defense of Nubani. It's very present to keep your one tank alive, being the Orisa, though Galaxy with the misplay getting decimated amongst that res, and Pray for GGs gave away the Transcendence as well. So this attacking team that has the unlocking payload is going to be able to get this big Graviton Surge, and there's so many members in it.
There's the Graviton Surge, and Apostle was up there swinging around the hammer, but they weren't really able to capitalize on it. Bison didn't quite have the Dragon Strike ready. Now it's coming across, and he is able to get a kill with it, as long as getting a kill with that big force. And the Riptire gets taken out as well, so a good fight for Cryius after capping this payload and getting this thing moving. They're going to come out on top in that fight, and they'll start working this thing towards the second checkpoint. So they were off to a slow start. It took them a while, but they're able to cap this objective, get this payload moving. They're looking good now, and it seemed to be ever since they made the swap over to Ryan Zarya.
Yeah, especially. I mean, just shielding away some of that excess damage coming through from Ultra's Junkrat made him swap over to Hanzo just to try to get that space and sniper duel that they're looking for in between Bison and Ultra now. So they're going to have that Dragaton, that Dragon Surge with the Graviton as well, and it's so deadly. But look at the attacking team. They have the Valkyrie, Earthshatter, and the Tactical Visors walking here, and they already capped the payload at the second point.
Yeah, they just kind of walked up and got it. Wolford does bring out this Tac Visor and is able to get OG with it, but like you said, they just kind of walked up and got that. Desperados didn't really set up much of a defense there, but to be fair, a lot of ults ready over on the side of Cryius. All they really had was the Transcendence and the aimbot. Wolford did bring it out, but a good pick from Ultra. No, Bison's going to get rezzed back in. They'll keep this payload moving, and there comes the Valkyrie. They're going to start another fight, and ever since capping that first objective and getting this thing moving, they have been on a roll.
Yeah, and gonna go ahead and cycle through the Valkyrie ultimate as well, though Apostle will go down, followed by Ogi as well. This is a huge disadvantage coming through, and they were minced the Valkyrie as well. Rafiki's on a mad flank using this Tactical Visor. He's not gonna get finding anything but his own death from a headshot of Prey for GG's, and now the defense being able to set themselves up very well now. They're gonna have both support ultimates to play along with. I wonder if Ultra's gonna hold on to this Dragon Strike for Pills' Graviton Surge. Pills is hanging out about 50% energy, which is high energy for Zarya. Can get it very quickly.
And he's already 3/4 of the way there, so you know it's not unusual to think that he'll be able to build this up in this fight. But they also have it ready over on the side of Cryius. The Dragon Strike is going to come across, but the Transcendence comes out, so that pretty much healed them all up through that. And a good Earth Shatter from Garlic Bread is going to cue the re-engage from the side of Desperados. They'll chase down the side of Cryius and push them back. And again, they will be pushed all the way back to the spawn. Will the side of Cryius Ultra, the kill feed is just filling up with his name, and he is on fire right now as Hanzo.
And Pills has not dropped down below 50% energy too. I want to make a key factor on how well this off tank of Desperados is playing right here. Fantastic shutdown on the Graviton Surge, especially from the Transcendence to Pray for GG's. The unfortunate side is that they didn't have the Reinhardt from Apostle swinging inside the Graviton Surge to outdo the procking healing of the Transcendence to get all the kills inside a beautiful Graviton Surge. Now the tides have turned. Desperados is...
Here comes out the combo with their own, and only caught a couple, but it still is enough to shut down yet another fight, and the rest of the Cryius is going to be forced back yet again, as they're going to come up, as they are about to prepare for possibly the final attack of this round. They're going to have Earth Shatter ready, as well as Transcendence. Vengeful will build up the Valkyrie, and Rafiki very close to a Pulse Bomb. But as they're about to come out for what could be their very last push of their attack, what is Cryius going to have to do to be able to take this one to the third and final point? All right, Panda, thank you. Good explanation there.
I got the bug.
All those, they know exactly what to look for. But here comes the Earth Shatter. Actually, no, he is able to catch a couple with it. Our Apostle and Cryius are coming in big on this fight, as they already have a couple picks already. Apostle's in there swinging this big hammer around, and Cryius off to a good start, and they're going to be able to take this one maybe all the way. No, Garlic Bread, they're going to come in and keep a contest alive. Our Desperados, we're going to go into overtime right here. Cryius still have the numbers advantage, but the spawn advantage does lie with the side of Desperados. Wolfer makes the swap over to Tracer to be able to blink in and get back here quicker. And now the Stagger is going to come in from the side of Desperados to try to keep this one alive.
Graviton Surge coming out, very far away from the rest of the damage. It's going to catch both supports, and there's the follow-up, and there's the capture point coming over to Cryius. Exactly what they needed, picking up on that Brigitte to stunlock any sort of frontline nuttiness coming out from the Ryan and Zarya Desperados is exactly what they needed. Rafiki took that last-minute swap onto Hanzo to try to get any last-minute headshots in that dire Straits Elite. One thing that most teams do end up doing is taking members of the Overwatch community that can win team fights without their ultimates. Hanzo is definitely one of those. Junkrat, another. Rafiki's Hanzo looked very good in those final moments.
Yeah, Rafiki played very well. Hanzo obviously very strong right now, like you said, able to win the fights without the ultimate. Now Cryius will set up for their defense. We'll see what both these teams decide to come out with. What compositions do you want to see from both teams, knowing that the side of Desperados will have to take this one all three to force another round, but with no time left in the time bank? Obviously, the side of Cryius doesn't want that. What do you think these two sides are going to come out with for their attack and their defense?
It's pretty exciting looking at this core Brawl setup. None of these teams are really playing around with each other. I mean, in most setups, Elite, you don't really see like a Torbjorn in attack or a Symmetra or whatever, right? But like, look at this defense already coming out straight up, and the attack too. Standard if I've ever seen it. They're gonna have Vengeful on this Ana, and that's exactly what I want to see as well. If they've been watching any European Overwatch whatsoever, if they expect to see a GOATS comp, especially on multiple tanks, Ana is one of those heroes that can shut that down. A Biotic Grenade, fantastic. Spread that Grandma Juice, mince the enemy team, and shut down any healing inbound. Any Moira or Brigitte will be left out with their pants on the ground.
And over on the side of Desperados, we see what they're coming out with. This is a slightly different from what we saw, you know. Oh, no, Pills, I was about to comment on the Roadhog, but he'll swap over. They're going to run the standard dive, but Ultra on the Pharah, as well as Galaxy on the Mercy, the pharmacy pick here on Numbani. What do you think?
It's pretty standard, especially for Numbani. There's a lot of high ground and buildings for the Pharah to play around and keep the Mercy alive, and that Concussion Blast is very prevalent. That if the Orisa halts up and doesn't get booped down, but Ogi does, that is a huge kill, especially that Zenyatta. That is a lot of damage that can be procced away, and for Ultra to rain some Priam in the sky.
Well, we'll see if Ultra can get a pick to start off this attack here. He'll get halted back in, but a good dive coming in from Garlic Bread will jump right up in, and he has one kill already as Bison is gone. He wants to take down Vengeful now, and he will. Garlic Bread will pay for it with his life, but not before taking out two players from the side of Cryius. Down very well is OG, and there he goes as well. And the kill feed is filling up for the side of Desperados. Still in here, though, is Ignaro. Glue Stick down very low with the Discord Orb. He is gone. Baby Diva Apostle will jump back up here and not really be able to put in much of a defense. Ultra will take him out, but they will come in and just dry push, take this objective A off to a strong start, our Desperados.
Huge dive coming through too, and look at Wolfer just continuously and resentfully charging that ultimate. 82% of the pulse bomb going to be getting in there with the dive of Garlic Bread again, finding Rafiki, and that's not where you want to be as a Hanzo. 62% to the Dragon Strike might be the ultimate to recontest here. Ultra is going to have a Pharah Barrage the moment either gets resurrected or comes out of spawn. Fantastic stuff. Never in the end, they have 5 minutes to push through the streets phase of Numbani Elite. That is so much time.
A lot of time on their side. Wolfer, but they have this pulse bomb as well. Ignaro gone, so with numbers, with Ultra coming back, there's the pulse bomb going to come out. Actually landed the stick onto Impossible. He was able to survive through it. Didn't get demeched, but still Desperados off to a very, very strong start. Already over halfway towards the second checkpoint. We'll see if Cryius just kind of gives it up, kind of like how Desperados did to them on their attack. Desperados are going to keep this attack going. Garlic Bread will jump right on in here to the back. Ultra with the kill on the Bison already. Ultra playing great on Pharah right now. Desperados keeping his attack going. Self-destruct's going to fly out up high and above, coming out from Boties, but Pills. It's a self-destruct that comes out on top. Still in here is Apostle. He'll get demeched. Baby Diva will fall. That's going to be the second checkpoint for Desperados. They are on a roll right now.
Apostle trying to be a man on a mission, trying to both use defensive matrix to save his soldier from inbound rockets, because Ultra is landing these fights like a dog out of hell here. I mean, these direct rockets do 120 damage without armor proccing, and Bison will be swapping over to the Brigitte just to try to give a little bit more of that damage decalculation onto Rafiki, as the Storm Arrow is a very good ability to take Pharah out from the sky, as there's a skybox on this third point.
Desperados still with this rocket barrage ready. Ultra specifically still with this rocket barrage over on the side of Cryius. We see Rafiki with this. Here comes another big dive coming out from Desperados. Primal Rage from Garlic Bread. He's trying to punch this Zenyatta in the face, but a Transcendence is going to keep OG alive through it. Meanwhile, back out here, we see Apostle starting to bring up the kills for the side of Cryius. Dragon Strike will come across as Rafiki brings that one out. The side of Desperados will be pushed back after some good plays from the two big tanks up front. Apostle was able to get a couple kills, and that's pretty much the first thing that Cryius has had to cheer for on their defense, as they finally hold them off there. The only ultimate that came out was Garlic Bread. It was negated by the Transcendence that came out from OG to keep him alive through all that. But we see the Graviton Surge about to be ready there as it comes up right there for Ignara, but a lot of ultimates ready to work with over on the side of Desperados, but the rally will come out from Bison to prepare for this next fight.
Yeah, and Ignaro having that Graviton Surge, Rafiki charging that ultimate very quickly, and I have to hold on to that Graviton Surge for just a moment's time so that way you can get the big wombo combo, but Pray for GG's just waiting for the grab.
As well as the Rocket Barrage came out there, takes out Apostle. Both big tanks gone. One will come back in as Vengeful is able to get that resurrection. Self-destruct will fly out. It's going to catch through. Good self-destruct there from Pills. Taking out both the supports in the back. Dragon Strike will fly across as Rafiki has built up another one. I don't know how much it's going to be able to save them, though, as he gets taken out by Ultra. Coming back in is Apostle, who was taken out early in the fight, but he'll come in and run right into his death. They're going to take this one all the way. Will anyone make it in for a last second? No. So 3 points for Desperados with a ton of time left in their time bank.
It's very interesting. Nevertheless, Ultra was almost uncontested. You know, there's two different types of Pharahs, much like there's two different types of Tracers. Those that do land those AoE rockets that whittle you down, or those Pharahs that land direct rockets and directly punish you for your positioning on trying to deal with their Ogi not having an easy time. Not the most mobile healer in the world, Zenyatta isn't, but a lot of damage to come out if he stays alive. Discord Orb, fantastic to help a soldier, Widowmaker, or any of a hit scan roll shoot that Pharah out of the sky, but Ultra just reigning supreme, just showing whose sky it truly belongs to.
Well, they'll be coming out for their attack, and they're going to have 3 minutes and 45 seconds. They only have to get 1 tick to take the win here on Numbani. And from the side of Cryius, on their defense, on Desperados' attack, they came in, dry push, took this first objective. So obviously they're not going to allow that. They don't have to take the objective, just 1 tick. Knowing that they're going to have to full hold for 3 minutes and 45 seconds, we see what they're coming out with. The 3 supports and Bison on the Brigitte, as well as the 2 tanks up front. We see the D.Va and the Orisa. Rafiki on the Hanzo, and he's played very well on it. Is this a composition that you think can full hold for 4 minutes?
It's a little different than what we previously saw in their last defense. I think Bison hanging out on this Brigitte is a really good idea, because most attacking teams, as you see Desperados coming out, is going to be on full dive. So if there's any craziness coming up there this time, will be stun locked, such as Garlic Bread coming in here looking for what he got last time, was 2 kills off of that 1 dive.
That was exactly what they got last time. We'll see if Garlic Bread can recreate it. Like you said, they have the Brigitte up there. Oh, but the Brigitte is already gone, and that may spell the end for Cryius here on this first map. Garlic Bread will jump back up. We do see Phils get D-Mix, so they have something to cheer about as this fight continues on. They're starting to fill up kills for both sides, so this one isn't over yet, but they're getting very close to this tick. They're trying to stagger in and keep this one alive. There goes Rafiki. Vengeful going for the res, but was not resing inside of the objective. Desperados will fill it all the way up. They'll get that first tick, and they will take the win on Numbani to go up 1-0.
Desperados gonna go ahead and go up 1-0, like you said here, as they're moving into this next map. Play of the game's gonna go over to Bison, though. Brigitte has been stealing most play of the games as of late. This pesky shield maiden, I tell you, she does a lot of damage, heals so much as well, and just does a lot of work. Even inside of Graviton Stairs, look at that. But never in the end, maybe a little bit hypo-aggression coming out at the end there for the Brigitte player of Cryius. Unfortunately, dropping down to the low ground, was susceptible to a lot of damage, and the dive altogether from Tracer, Genji, Winston, and D.Va included. Gave him the free tick, but they have 3 minutes, 53 seconds anyway. As we move on to our next map, Elite, it's going to be Assault. I know it's your favorite map style. You know it at home as 2CP LOL. It's going to be Full Sky Industries.
We will be diving onto Volskaya Industries, and it was Desperados that took that first round. And now the losing team will choose whether they want to attack or defend. So that will be up to Cryius. We will see what they decide to come with. But as we are about to dive onto the assault, the Volskaya Industries, Cryius, they were able to take it all the way there, but it took them a long time to cap that objective A, and then they took it all the way with no time left in the time bank. Obviously, very different from what we saw on Desperados, how they just kind of walked in, took the objective, and then took it all the way with a ton of time in their time bank. So after that big win for Desperados, what is Cryius going to have to do here on Volskaya for them to get some momentum onto their side and try to tie this one up 1-1?
Yeah, to keep their feet on the ground. That's a good start right there. Unfortunately, they were getting booped around on that attack from Ultra, not really able to sustain themselves. It's exactly what a Pharah does. Not only a lot of damage, but it disrupts a lot. And you gotta have to go back to the drawing board, not necessarily in the sense of what we have to go at this compositional wise, but you gotta make sure you stay cool inside the team comms as well. You don't want to get too manic, unfortunately. That creates a lot of chaos and a lot of desync in between your tanks and the backline as well. Communication is very key. What they can do to a T, however, I'm not too sure. But what they are doing, however, Elite, is they got a substitution. We're going to have Short Dude in here for Apostle. That'll be a main tank swap as we're moving over to Volskaya Industries. But again, I have been spoiled by the EU Contenders Trials. I wonder if we're going to see a triple DPS composition come out. It's very popular, pulling out a Pharmacy, Winston, Junkrat. It's very scary.
It is very popular. We will see if they come out with it. And yeah, like you pointed out, it is a Short Dude coming in for Apostle. I don't think we really have any information on Short Dude, so we're kind of in the dark here, but we know that he's coming in for what should be the main tank role as Apostle, who was the big Reinhardt for Cryius, will be subbed out. So Short Dude coming in, and yeah, like you talked about, the 3 DPS. Something else very, very popular that we haven't seen yet is the big triple tank, triple support, 3 on each. So we'll see what these teams decide to come out with on their attack and their defense. But the triple tank, triple support is something that's very, very popular. We didn't really see it there, but do you think that the 3 and 3 is a good comp? And in what areas do you think the triple tank, triple support is best ran?
I think 3-3 on a map such as Sky Industries, anything that is assault based, or even in some hybrid maps where you do have to unlock a payload, it is very, very prevalent. It gives you a lot of meat to the composition. Nubani, unfortunately, we were spoiled by high ground that time around, so it was a little bit more of a playoff for the map itself. But when we're walking into Volskaya Industries, just having a Reinhardt and all those tanks behind with the Brigitte for the shield bash in the backline, if there's any kind of flanking going on from the enemy team, it's just so powerful. And then once you get onto the point itself, the enemy team just has to figure out how to get into that as well. We know most defensive teams, even throughout to Temple of Anubis, Volskaya Industries, Hanamura, all of them together. A lot of Widowmakers played on defense. And we know Widowmakers can get a one-shot onto most squishy targets, but they can't one-shot tanks. And that's why 3-3 itself is very powerful if you can dislodge the Widowmaker amidst just staying cool on the point.
Well, double sniper was what we saw over on the side of Cryius to Rafiki made the swap over to Torb, but I would imagine he's going to be making the swap back to Widow before they begin their attack. But over on the side of Desperados, we see the McCree and the Junkrat. We saw Ultra on the Junkrat back on Nubani on the defense. Now we see Wolfer. He was on Soldier. Now on McCree. They seem to be big fans of this. You know, this is popular, and we see it every now and then. But Desperados, they seem to be partial to this Junkrat McCree, Junkrat Soldier that isn't quite as common as you know, as Hanzo and Brigitte as a DPS and stuff like that with Genji Tracer, Big Dive. But Desperados seem to be fans of the McCree Junkrat.
McCree Junkrat is fantastic in this patch itself. Any kind of control impairing effects that you can add on to the main tank of the enemy team is just really nice to have. Flashbang being one of those things, has a nice middle to short range damage fall off for that Peacekeeper as well. But Rafiki coming out on this Widowmaker is going to be able to take that fight and elongate it even further. We know that scope weapons are definitely better than a revolver in certain scenarios, my friend.
And Cryius will begin their attack. They'll start to come in here on the point as they just kind of edge their way in. We'll see on the side of Desperados wants to set up their defense. Right now. As you see, it's one for both sides. Short Dude and Garlic Bread in here swinging these big hammers, going at each other. Garlic Bread is forced to charge out. They're getting very close to this first tick. And at the last second, they'll come in for a contest. We see Wolfer's able to get both of those kills. Numbers advantage starting to go over to the side of Desperados. Short Dude still in here. Rafiki up on top and will get taken out, though, as Pray for GG's locks that one up. So that was the first attack there coming out from the side of Cryius. They got very, very close to that first tick, but they were able to come in and stop that one at the last second. Were Desperados, and then they come out on top in that fight. Bison able to build up a Dragon Strike throughout all of that. Wolfer and Garlic Bread very close to their ults as well. So good start for both sides. Obviously, Desperados comes out on top in the beginning. In this first, in that first push, the Infra site will come out from Rafiki as they prepare for another push. Wolfer and Garlic Bread both with big ults ready. Here comes the Dragon Strike across to get it ready.
And Dragon Strike's just going to zone them away, just kind of cut off and disrupt them more than anything. Kind of interesting to see Bison use that as Agnaro was at 83% now for that Graviton Surge. Pray for GG's with a nice headshot to open up the team fight onto Rafiki of all people, losing that sniper in a 2K of a Deadeye. Wolfer, you're insane.
He will get taken out by Bison. They're taking it out, but obviously great trade for Wolfer. They'll come out on top. Pills will push them back. Another fight won by Desperados. Oh no, they did use the Valkyrie. I was going to say the only all used was Deadeye, but Valkyrie came out as well from Galaxy. So great Deadeye from Wolfer, able to take out 2. And again, Cryius will get shut down. They're down to 90 seconds left, but a lot of ults ready on their side to prepare for another fight. And we see Rafiki making the swap over to Farah.
Very interesting, considering that Wolfer has been hitting these shots more than anything. You're going to stick a Farah in this guy to try to deal with this, but Bison, 80% nearing for the Dragon Strike into Agnaro's Graviton Surge. It needs to come up huge. There's a Graviton Surge from the enemy team, though. It's Desperados with a Riptire, however, and it finds 2.
Huge riptire from Ultra. Pretty much already shuts down this fight before Cryius even had a chance. Garlic Bread is in there chasing everybody down as he locks up that kill onto Rafiki. So great riptire from Ultra. Shut down that fight before it even got started. Down to 60 seconds, less than 60 seconds left for the attack from Cryius. We still see an Earth Shatter ready as well as a Transcendence from the side of Desperados. Pray for GG's has that a good Earth Shatter from Garlic Bread. Can completely end this fight, but we see the big Wombo combo ready for the side of Cryius. We'll see if they can get it because they're going to need a big one here if they want to be able to get Objective A and not get full held by Desperados.
They need to save this bubble for Short Dude to go in and swing inside of here. Pray for GG's has been on point all series long thus far, saving these Transcendences exactly for Agnar's Graviton Surge. They're going to look for the entry here as Rafiki's just pushing them into the Mega Pack.
There's the Graviton Surge. The Dragon Strike is coming across, but Pray for GG's, like we talked about, has the Transcendence ready. So that Wombo goes completely shut down. The Earth Shatter will come out from Garlic Bread. He'll charge into the wall, the big Agnaro, but Transcendence as well from OG, keeping them alive. Short Dude gets res back in. A good Earth Shatter from Short Dude may turn this one for the side of Cryius. Starting to come out on top. Only person dead is Short Dude. Rafiki falls as well, but they're still coming out on top. They'll fill up one tick, and they will be able to cap Objective A. So a big back and forth fight there. The Wombo combo was caught by the side of Cryius. They had a good one ready, but great Transcendence from Pray for GG's saved all of them, but they're still able to come out on top in that fight. Good resurrection from Vengeful, brought back in Short Dude, which he followed up with a big Earth Shatter.
Yeah, prevalent Transcendence on the side for OG on the side of Cryius on the end of the end, and it's gonna end up using all of their ultimates, but you almost want to invest it all at that point, man. I mean, you got to get this point. 4 minutes was unlocked, so that way they can push on to point B, and they're not gonna have any ultimates anytime soon, but Ogi's been popping off, so you will have a Transcendence momentarily. Looking at 3 ultimates, both DPS, and there's a Graviton Surge coming out from Pills yet again. The kills will follow through.
Yeah, that's just a big fight there for Desperados. They hold off that first fight. Graviton Surge used as well as a Deadeye. So good start for Desperados on this next defense. And obviously it was they're already off to a great start. It took the entire 4 minutes for the side of Cryius to cap Objective A. They eventually do. And now they'll begin their attack on Objective B. Not easy for them to come in and try to snowball this, where they have no ults ready, and they had 4 ready on the side of Desperados, as well as the Riptire and the Earth Shatter still ready, but no swaps really coming over on the side of Cryius. Rafiki, like we talked about, made the swap over to Fairy. Evil Wolfer playing well, but since making that swap over to Fairy, it seems to have been able to make it work so far.
The defense of Desperados is not opening up any compositional swaps for any openings. You want to go Brigitte? We already have a Junkrat. Do you want to go Fair? Well, we still have Wolfer on McCree, so it creates a lot of difficulties. But when Bison's hitting shots like that, it creates a lot of openings.
Bison with that pick on the Garlic Bread. That's gonna come in for the res is Galaxy, and they'll take him out mid-res. So with Galaxy gone, this could be their opening to come in and cap this. Dragon Strike will come across, and starting to come out on top in this fight are Cryius. No one in here. Garlic Bread will try to get back in. Not before they get that first tick. Earth Shatter will come out and hit a ton of people, but he's in there all by himself. There he goes. OG gets up off the ground and pops the Transcendence. This last one's filling up. Galaxy will come in and pop the Valkyrie to keep this one alive. And with him in here, we'll see if the rest of Desperados can start to stagger back in. Ultra comes in on the Tracer and is able to get a kill onto OG. Short Dude still in there. Earth Shatter's gonna come out and hear from Short Dude as he builds up that one, and they're still coming out on top in this fight. Our Cryius, the stagger still coming out though from Desperados.
They're at 94% here as the kills are continuously coming through. They're going to be able to stagger a few more seconds here, but surely it is 1 minute and 35 seconds in the time bank. For Cryius, they looked fantastic off of those key picks from Bison, really making a showcase on Hanzo. Rafiki and Bison, both the DPS for Cryius, really showing that they can play Storm Hanzo 2.0 very, very prominently. I mean, that projectile speed, my man, is insane. And it was unfortunate because they never really dealt with Rafiki towards the spawn room, who caught prey for GG, swapping to Moira, trying to get back to the point. But a big stall coming out from Galaxy in that Valkyrie. What you don't see Valkyries used for every single day, my friend, was a fantastic stall to hold, but it was all for naught.
Yeah, they were able to kill a lot of time that would have been left on the time bank from the side of Cryius. And like we talked about, it was a good pick from Bison on the Hanzo. Was able to take out Garlic Bread, and then Galaxy came in for the res and paid for that with his life. So good attack from the side of Cryius. Off to a rough start capping Objective A, but ever since capping that, they moved into Objective B well. They're able to take that, able to cap both with 95 seconds left in their time bank. Now we're going to see the attack coming out from the side of Desperados, knowing that they're going to have to cap both objectives. What do you think they are going to come out with on their attack? Right now, they have the exact mirror that we saw from the attack from the side of Cryius and the Hanzo and the Pharah on the DPS. Do you like the current composition that they have, or do you think that there is anything that might work better?
The one thing I will say about this composition, and it's much like their defensive composition, that there's no real gap for error. Now, they have every single space covered. They have elongated damage. They have a sniper, in fact, from Wolfer on that Hanzo, and they have area of effect damage from Ultra. The only thing that they have to be careful of is pray for GGs. They have to make sure that the peel is there and the shield is very much so alive, so that way everybody can move through these smaller choke points rather, and not get shot in the face by Bison, because it's a double sniper defense, and that is very scary. They want to president around Rafiki so that way they can get this big meat grinder of a combo in between the Dragon Strike and the Graviton Surge we know and love today.
Well, they will come out for their attack. The big Graviton Surge Dragon Strike is what they're running, as we see the Zarya and the Hanzo coming out from Desperados. They'll swing in here through the left side. Good pick from Ultra. Ultra will get taken out, and a res will come in from Vengeful to bring that in, but Wolfer will answer with a kill on the Bison, so it's a 5v5 in there right now. On the point, the spawn advantage will lie with the side of Desperados. Not as long as a walk back for Bison as it is for the side of Cryius. And now as they begin their attack, the side of Desperados getting very close to this first tick. Still, Agnaro is in here trying to defend this one. There he goes, though. Rafiki still in here, but they're slowly getting kicked off. The Zenyatta of OG will fall as well, and it's going to be a dry push victory again for Desperados. That was what we saw on Numbani. They'll walk right in, cap objective A, and we'll see if they can snowball objective B off of this.
The healing was already too strong. At the moment that Agnaro went down, Vengeful went immediately for the resurrection, and Shorttooth started defending the point. At that point, you almost want to give them one tick and just wait for Bison to try to get the pick, which he did, but the healing wasn't on Shorttooth, so he was low for too long and lost the Reinhardt 1v1. And amidst that swinging slap fest, Garlic Bread's going to be walking into your point B with an Earthshatter and Galaxy with a Valkyrie ultimate, so the snowball potential is rising.
The Earthshatter gets completely blocked, though, by the big shield of Shorttooth, but it might not matter, as we still see kills coming out for the side of Desperados. Shorttooth will fall. Now it's just the two lonely supports in the back. They're getting pushed back to spawn, while Desperados still fills this one up. 2 ticks already. No one's going to be able to make this, and this is going to be a quick 2 ticks for Desperados. 6:13 left in the time bank.
And that was insanity. I mean, just when you thought that Cryius was making a footing in this defensive hold, they just got opened up. 6 minutes, 13 seconds walking in here for this defense. They gotta be feeling good about this. I mean, they're already 1-up in this series. What do you got to do for Cryius in this manner perspective? I'm sure you want to ask me, and I'm sure you all want to know at home. I'm sure Cryius would like to know as well. But at the end of the day, you just got to stick to your strengths. I mean, comfort will outlast the meta, unfortunately, in certain situations, that if you need to stick Bison on the Hanzo and Rafiki on the flex CPS, you do so. And you can see them setting up for attack. I believe that's what they're going to be doing just so. But the defense, though, they're going to go with that strong defense that almost went with a full hold. I mean, if they were able to do that for 4 minutes, Elite, what can they do with 1 minute and 35 seconds in the attacking time bank?
Yeah, no reason not to bring it out again. And you talked about the comfort picks over. You talked about comfort picks, and over on the side of Cryius, Rafiki has his preferred hero listed as Genji, and it's what he has selected right now. Meanwhile, OG was on the Pharah. He swapped over to Zenyatta, while Vengeful swaps over to the Pharah. We will see if this is what they go with. But Rafiki, like you talked about comfort picks, and apparently his preferred hero is Genji. So coming out on their attack, Rafiki on the Genji. What do you think of this Genji pick? 95 seconds left. It's his comfort pick. Do you think it's going to work?
I think it could absolutely work. I mean, if they were able to get back to the back line and get Pray for GGs from shooting orbs of destruction into the face of the enemy, is exactly what you want to do. These Discord orbs from the Zenyatta player is very prevalent. Not that OG isn't doing very well himself, but he's getting more guarded by the front line and the simple mind games that Garlic Bread is playing against Shorttooth.
Well, they can have time to generate maybe 2 big pushes here. We'll see what they're able to come out with. Rafiki is in here on the Genji, trying to sneak into these backlines, throw these big shurikens around. But as this attack still gets underway, they're not really committing anything heavily on the side of Cryius. Shorttooth, as they all just gather in behind his big shield. They'll come in and slowly make their way onto the objective. No one overly committing anything to a big engage, but the kills will start to come out for the side of Desperados. Vigil's able to get that res, but knowing that they have the numbers, they'll keep the aggression coming, but we still see kills coming out for the side of Desperados. They'll hold off that first attack. Though through that, Bison able to build up the Dragon Strike. We'll see if Ignaro can build up the Graviton Surge, because the combo could end this, but over on the side of Desperados, we see 3 ults ready. Garlic Bread has his ready with just pretty much 2 swings of the hammer, 1 because he'll be at 93, 94 by the time they get back. So it's going to be very tough for the side of Cryius to win this fight, as well as Rafiki make a swap over Junkrat.
That's a good swap right there. Try to shut down the shield of Garlic Bread. Stop him making eye contact with Short Tooth so that way he can push forward. But a 2K of Ultra's Riptire is going to spell the end of this attack. Garlic Bread's Earth Shatter is all for naught because that is the end. No ticks given for the attack. And now Desperados setting their win condition behind 6 minutes and 13 seconds of a time bank lead. They just need to take 1 tick off of this defense, or off from this attack rather, and they're going to walk away and up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, big Riptire from Ultra. Shut down that last fight before it even got started. So 95 seconds, not able to get anything with it. Or the side of Cryius. Desperados will come out now. 6 minutes, 13 seconds, like you talked about, on the attack. They're going to have plenty of time to just come in here and get 1 tick. The side of Cryius, we'll see what they decide to come out with. Knowing that they're on the defense, this is what they usually choose, is what they will go with. But Rafiki on the Sombra right now. I know Sombra has been a pick that has been, kind of niche, kind of popular on Volskaya Industries. Rafiki running it right now. What do you think of Sombra here on the defense?
I think it's definitely a map favorite for Volskaya. I mean, definitely tip your hat to old Sombra, where you would gain ult charge off the health packs, play around that mega health pack behind the shield of your Reinhardt or Orisa, whichever it may be. Short Dude coming out on the Reinhardt. So I think that's the play here. Just try to out-sustain the enemy team. But then again, that mega health pack ain't on the point, and you got to get on there eventually before it ticks subsides. And they have 6 minutes and 13 seconds to figure this out. So in all things consideration, they can really wait 20 seconds to actually hit that tab key and see what the enemy team is, and then swap accordingly. But what they already have is exactly what they ran out with before, and it's going to be that pharmacy. So they're going to need that hacked health pack very quickly.
And it coming out on the pharmacy from the side of Desperados. Let's see how quickly they decide to just push in here to this objective. They took it very quickly on the dry push in the last round. We'll see if they're able to do it again. Wolfer in here shooting out these arrows, going head to head with Bison, but they'll come in and start to fill this one up already. They're going to have to get on the point. They can't allow them to just fill it up like this. Getting very close there to the end, but Wolfer with the kill onto Rafiki. So with that DPS gone, it was a Sombra, but Short Dude with the big fire strike, taking on Garlic Bread, answering with the kill of their own. So kills coming out from both sides. It's a 4v4 technically right now. At the moment, Pill's still in here on the point, will finally get taken out as Ignaro locks up that kill. And it looks like the side of Desperados will be pushed back just a little bit. Might have been a kind of a scouting thing like you saw. They were to come out, they could see the enemy team making these swaps. We will see if they do, but their first attack will be held off by the side of Cryius, but plenty of time over on their side, and Ultra with the swap over to Genji.
Scouting,
now a soldier.
Scouting never in the end is going to be ult charge for the enemy team at the end of the day, and Garlic Bread with a key flame strike. It's going to get resurrected, but in 30 seconds, that resurrection is going to be nothing, considering that Wolfer just went down as well. The defense looking very good behind Bison's Widowmaker.
They are playing well. They're being able to hold them off at the moment. They're still going to come in with this push, even with Wolfer dead. Wolfer will start to make his way back, but they're not going to back off on the side of Desperados. They will continue to hold over here on the right. Rafiki in here trying to put out damage where he's able to. Wolfer on his way back in, and he has made it back, so it's turned back into a 6v6. The Earth Shatter will come out and was able to catch Galaxy. A lot of it did get blocked. The Transcendence comes down from Pray for GG's to keep everyone alive as this fight gets underway. But as this fight continues on, it's still the side of Cryius coming out on top. They'll start to push them back yet again. Ultra is up here trying to put damage down where he can, but the rest of his team is getting pushed back by the side of Cryius as Ignaro and the big Reinhardt of Short Dude chasing them all the way back, down to 4 minutes on their attack. Obviously a ton of time, but with 2 minutes gone already on their attack. Good defense right now from Cryius, but through all this, there's still ults being built up for the side of Desperados. Pill's very close to his Graviton Surge, and all it takes is one big wombo combo to end this second match.
And here's the difference here. Ignaro will have this Graviton Surge. Pray for GG's won't have the Transcendence. So the Graviton Surge is about to stick, my friend. Garlic Bread, however, will be ready. Like you said, Pill's just waiting for the go button behind the Graviton Surge once it is ready. With Wolfer to the point of that meat grinder, it will spell an end, and it should definitely give them a tick. There it is.
Here comes the combo. Wolfer's going to bring this one across, and with no transcendence for OG, they're not going to be kept. There's 3 for Wolfer. A Valkyrie will come in from Vengeful to try to keep them alive. Wasn't a Valkyrie, it was just a big Guardian Angel up to the Rafiki that was up there, but it doesn't matter because Desperados still comes out on top following that big wombo combo that came out from Pills and Wolfer. They will take Volskaya Industries, and they will go up 2-0 in the series.
And play of the game going over to Ogi. Look at that. Tip your hat to you. Or, you definitely want to tip your Zenyatta's there. Look at that Discord Orb. Lots of damage coming in. The inside there. Good follow-up from the Orbs of Destruction. In the end, though, going up 2-0. Desperados got to be feeling good as we're moving into our third map here. It's going to be a controlled map, and it's set to be Ilios, too. So, I mean, if there's anything that favors a Brawl tactic here, I would definitely assume that it would be, surprisingly, in Cryius' favor, because a giant Brawl is the only thing that we just saw in the final moments of Volskaya Industries Elite. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Control actually plays out.
That was a big brawl, and we saw Cryius play well as they were able to hold that one off for 2 minutes. I mean, it was the big combo that came out from Pills and Wolfer that eventually shut that one down for Desperados to be able to take the win. So, like you said, we'll be jumping on to Ilios here in a moment. Desperados currently up 2-0 in the series. Cryius, they haven't played poorly or anything like that per se. They've done well on their attacks, but it's like when Desperados comes out on their attack, it's overwhelming for Cryius, and Desperados just walks in these dry pushes. They walk in and just cap the initial objective off of that. No ults or anything. So with Cryius now down 0-2 and being able to see 2 games against Desperados, what are some changes you think we might see from the side of Cryius for them to try to work their way back into this?
Hey, try to disrupt them a little bit more. One thing that you can definitely take from a team wiping you without any ultimates is coordination, focus fire. That is one thing outside of micro skill that you can definitely count on when you're losing team fights on the get-go like that. Going forward off of that, I would say go to your comfort picks. It's very unfortunate for Rafiki's favorite hero to be Genji. He's not the most popular and used hero in this current meta. Very shut down by popular heroes such as Brigitte. But never in the end, Cryius is going to have to find an answer as they're moving into our control map one way or another.
Yeah, we know that Brigitte is kind of considered the counter to the big dive composition that has, pretty much just dominated for a while now. The shield bash on the Genji kind of shuts that one down, and we know the combo that just completely destroys Tracer. And with being able to stun the 2 big dive tanks that will dive straight out into the back lines, yeah, Brigitte obviously shuts down the big dive combo. We know the Rafiki, like you talked about, likes to come out on the Genji as well as Bison on the Tracer, but hard to do that when you have Brigitte, and when Brigitte could just completely shut down everything you guys have. But still, Cryius down 2-0. Desperados has played very, very well. And what is it that Desperados has done so well for them to be up 2-0 right now and to be able to win those games? So not quite one-sidedly, but obviously to have their big successful attacks and things like that. What have they done so well to be up 2-0 right now?
I think it's just at the end of the day, it's their understanding of the current patch and meta. They're understanding what hero can be played where. I mean, we're seeing McCree, Pharah, we're seeing certain DPS combinations which you would raise an eyebrow at, but if you actually broke it down to a certain T, you would see that all spacing is covered, and it's very interesting to see how a macro-heavy team of Desperados is winning these team fights in a micro level, considering that they're just walking in with the proper team composition and just winning Overwatch style.
Yeah, just walking in, dry push, and just winning outright like that, just making it look easy are Desperados. So we'll be jumping on to Ilios here in a moment, and as we're about to jump on to as we are about to jump on to Ilios, from the side of Cryius, is there anything that they could switch up composition wise that you think they might play better as? We know that Reinhardt Zarya is kind of required at this point because we saw what happened when Dive was ran, but Reinhardt Zarya is kind of required despite their favorite team composition being Dive. Is there anything that Cryius can switch up hero-wise that you think we haven't seen yet that you think might be tough for Desperados to adapt to?
Well, There's a lot of shield pressure and frontline pressure coming out from Desperados that if I saw one composition really work out, especially in those final moments of Sky Industries, was that Widowmaker Junkrat or any sort of double defensive hero until they're taken out of that certain category altogether. Defensive heroes were once made not only so for you to have ease of access to understand what different heroes do, but because they deal a lot of damage in a certain area. And one thing they can do is play around shields very, very proficiently. Junkrat can whittle down shields, break them down, displace, and disrupt Desperados, all while Bison is landing those headshots, regardless of what sniper it's on, because Storm Hanzo's just as good, in my personal opinion, depending if you're taking a Widow v Widow battle. But I think that's basically where you got to go from that. You know, just play around to what the meta is. You know, but burst down those shields, displace the team, and really just punish their tanks for standing on the front line like that.
Well, it'll be Ilios that we're about to dive onto here in just a moment. Short dude still in here for Cryius, and Desperados has played very, very well. We've seen the Ferris coming out from both sides. Ultra played very well in the Farah. Ultra has played very well on the Junkrat as well. I don't know how much we'll see. I don't know how much Junkrat we will be seeing as we're about to jump on to Ilios. But over on the side, or on the side of Desperado, we have seen the Junkrat and the McCree coming out on both maps, as well as the Junkrat and the Soldier. And it's not that those heroes are like, you know, considered niche or anything like that, but they're not quite as popular as Hanzo, Widow, the big double snipers right now. But Desperados are running the Junkrat and McCree, Junkrat Soldier very, very well right now. What are they doing so well on those two DPS heroes that's allowing them to keep those two in, aside from just switching over to the popular double snipers that we see? We have seen them come out with Hanzo, and obviously they play very well in it. But it seems like Junkrat and McCree and stuff like that are heroes that these two DPS are very comfortable on.
It's that, and it's also, especially where the meta is as well, you're going to take a lot of team fights either in the long or medium range. There's hardly any sort of brawling that goes on in the middle of a fight unless it's like on a map that you just saw. Typically, what you'll see most teams wait for is that first pick upon entry, and that's where snipers really come in handy. However, if you're just landing a bunch of spam damage from the Junkrat or the Farah, and you have a very confident Hanzo on your team as well, it's very easy clean up right then and there. And Pills himself, and this is where everything I just said gets thrown into shambles. When you have Pills gathering up that energy like it's his job, he's gaining so much frontline damage off onto tanks such as Short Dude that it's not exactly easy for his healers both to resurrect the backline and to keep the front line alive all at the same time. And that's definitely something you got to take into account as well. And why most teams are afraid to run Junkrat is because it will give Zarya more charge, but once that bubble is down, you have to punish her.
Well, as we will be about to jump on to Ilios, the side of Cryius, they've ran the the anti-dive that we see. And we haven't really seen anything considered cheesy or anything like that. Any kind of triple tank, triple support. But I know that Control is one where triple tank, triple support is popular as we are now jumping onto Ilios. We will see what these two teams decide to come out with. But as we're jumping onto our first map, what do you think the compositions will be? I know that Widow is very, very popular here on this one. What do you think these two teams are going to come out with?
Well, on Ruins especially, you were mentioning where 3-3 might be popular, and this is definitely one of them. Though in a rendition of, because it is Ruins, you will end up seeing probably a 1-2-3 combination. You want that Brigitte, 2 tanks, and your 1 DPS definitely being the Widowmaker or a Hanzo, depending on how long you want to take that team fight. You can definitely get a lot of spam damage off above those rocks around the statue side, and we know ever since the dawn of time of Ruins that Widowmaker has always been very popular here.
Yeah, double snipers. Double snipers popular as well. But Widow on both sides, having these Widow duels is something that's very popular that we see on Ruins. As this one gets underway, we see the Reinhardt, Zarya coming out from the side of Desperados. Over on the side of Cryius, we will see what they decide to come out with. Vengeful is going to make the swap over to Mercy. And really looks like it's going to be just an exact mirror composition coming out from both sides, and the two big tanks up front, Reinhardt, Zarya with the double sniper, and the Mercy Zenyatta hanging out in the back lines of these supports. So as Ruins gets underway, mirror match coming out for both teams. And we know that when it comes to the dry pushes, the first fights of the match, Desperados has always come out on top and come out on top very well throughout them.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff coming out from both these teams. And when you do have a mirror matchup, you are very right. who does come out on the micro battle being those picks is going to win the team fight, all things considering. It's going to be Wolfer, landing headshots left, right, and center behind the Discord orbs and his counter sniper, or his co-sniper rather, of Ultra. Look at that.
Good start from Desperados as they come out on these double snipers. Wolfer on the Widowmaker. We will see what Cryius decides to do as they will begin the second attack as Desperados comes out on top in that first fight. They'll cap it and they'll start to fill this one up. 25% for them. Wolfer on the Widow, off to a good start. Ultra on it, good start as well. On the Hanzo, we will see what Cryius can decide to do. It's going to be Wolfer getting taken out, or taking out Bison rather. Bison will get res back in. Good shot there from Wolfer. But the side of Cryius getting pushed back yet again. We do see Bison get that kill, but that's not going to quite be enough. The Dragon Strike's going to come across. It will be able to catch out Vengeful, and again, Desperados will come out on top. 50% filled up for them already.
One of the hardest parts about Ruins and most of these maps on Ilios himself is once you have the point, it's very hard to take it. Your adversaries have to invest a lot of utility just to get in there. I mean, gonna have to almost use both these support ultimates coming in here from OG rather, and Vengeful as well. And Wolfer is just oppressing the living heck out of every living thing that walks out of that spawn room.
Garlic Bread ready with the Earth Shatter. We'll see if he can get a big one to shut down yet another attack from the side of Cryius. Ignaro and Rafiki trying to work their way towards that combo. Pills has his Graviton Surge ready. Ultra working up his Dragon Strike, so that way they have a combo of their own. But at the moment, it's all Desperados. They're at 90% already. And Wolfer with the kill on Rafiki may shut this one down already. He will get res back in, but OG gone as well. So off to a strong start right now are Desperados. Right there's the Graviton Surge, and they're all gathering up behind the big shield. But here comes the big Dragon Strike out from Ultra. And again, it's Desperados coming out on top. Vengeful is in here, but he'll get pushed back. Overtime is going to burn down. It's going to be all Desperados here on game one as they take it 100-0.
And taking 100-0 very convincingly. I don't believe Wolfer even died not a single time that entire time. Now, as we're moving into this, I don't want to say, all things considering, it is score to win, best of 3-2. So I do believe that this is going to be match point, maybe? I don't know. I don't want to put a dime on it. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, as we move it into Lighthouse, another hard point itself. It's not like well where it's very open, the entire point being where most of the fighting happens. You really have to find an entryway into this point itself just to get a footing as 6 members onto the point. Now, more standard stuff coming out on the side of Desperados around Wolfer and Ultra, Farah, McCree in between. Rafiki making another showcasing on this Genji, backed by Bison on that McCree. I'm very interested to see how he chases that purple ball of OG's Discord org.
Yeah, well, to add on to what you were talking about, Core Brawl, I'm pretty sure just ends at 3 wins. So if the side of Desperados takes this one here, that will be the end, and they will take this one 3-0 if they're able to come out on top. We see Rafiki gone already, so good start for Desperados yet again as we're moving on to this next one. Both supports were hovering at Lucio while they were in the spawn room, coming out maybe thinking about getting some boops, but in the end they both make the swap back over to the Mercy. It was Galaxy and Vengeful, but again Desperados off to a strong start as they win that fight. They will cap the point yet again as this one gets underway. And now Cryius, we will see if they can do anything, because after getting 100-0 in the last round, they're gonna have to come out with something big. But with Bison gone already, we'll see if he gets res back in to keep their push going. But Desperados just playing strong right now in Ilios.
It's still a rendition of anti-dive if I've ever seen one. I mean, you may not think all things directly that a McCree will counter a Genji, but that flashbang is such a nuisance to deal with that you see Rafiki swapping immediately on a Tracer. In the second that the moments are low, you see Garlic hitting the gas and just punching right into them. They're gonna almost have 6 ultimates, just Pills lacking a little bit behind in 30% in the charge, but no way by how much energy this Zarya player has been soaking up.
Ultra pushed all the way back in there to keep them pushed back towards their spawning. Will eventually get taken out, but not before doing a ton of work. So Desperados 50% already, like you talked about, 6 ultimates about to be ready for their side. Rafiki has kind of been jumping around. He was on the Genji, now make the swap over to Tracer. Bison taken down very low as Wolfer was landing a lot of shots on hit scan onto the Pharah, and Deadeye's going to come out from him as the side of Cryius starts to push back in, not able to get anything with that Deadeye. Everybody was able to scatter around and hide from that one. Meanwhile, still in here on the point, the Graviton Surge will come out from Agnaro. That maybe what Cryius needs to come out on top. Pills will get res back in, but right now it's still 1-1 down for both sides. A res coming in from Vengeful, though, to bring back in Short Dude. Neither team with a huge upper hand at the moment, but if I were to pick one, it'd be Cryius. Players are falling. We're the side of Desperados. Earthshatter is going to get completely blocked by Garlic Bread. Short Dude brought out that Earthshatter, but completely blocked. Still chaos in here on the point with neither team coming out on top real heavy, but in the end, it is Desperados who is able to come in and push them off. 96%. Agnaro has made the swap over to Winston, get back to the point faster. He'll jump in. He's already down very low, though. Wolfer's going head-to-head with him. He's forced to jump out, and he will get taken out. Overtime is burning down. No one will make it in, and it will be Desperados taking both rounds 100-0, and they will take the series 3-0.
Yeah, and looking pretty darn good too. I mean, they didn't really have to flex around their composition, coming out looking strong. Definitely want to take a key moment to highlight the tanks in between of both these teams. I mean, really playing the mind game, sticking tried and true, side by side with each other, but Garlic Red just getting up on these mental games and looking darn good on top of it. Ultra will get the play of the game. The inside of that Graviton Surge, just spamming all those Storm Arrows, looking pretty darn good doing so, my good man.
Great play from Ultra on the Hanzo. Great play all around from Desperados as they're able to take the series 3-0. That will do it for our games for tonight. As they take it, I believe that will do it at least. But we will see if they come out with any more games. I think we actually are going to play one more, and usually that would be the end of the core Brawl. We will play one more. It's going to be our escort, which is good because we didn't see that. So we will get an escort map for the night. But Desperados with a big win there on Ilios, 100-0. They have played great all night, both rounds 100-0, up 3-0 in the series. Technically won the series. We'll be jumping onto a score. It's going to be Junkertown. Do you think we'll see anything cheeky coming out from Junkertown as we're about to dive onto it?
Well, Junkertown is where the Payload of Doom, the sailboat strategy, did make its most prevalent notice, and where Double Sniper came out to play as well. The thing about to understand about Junkertown is it's very open, so you can play 3-3 here, you can play double snipers, you can play a lot of different things. Now, the only interesting to note on is whether or not Cryius or Desperados are comfortable on all these.
Yeah. And talking about comfortability, neither of these teams really have Escort Junkertown listed as their favorite anything. Favorite map is Rialto from Cryius, which of course is an Escort map, so we'll see if that translates over onto Junkertown at all. We're going to be jumping. Oh, we were about to jump into Junkertown, but the custom game got sent back to the lobby by moderators. So we'll let these teams work out whatever's going on. But as we're about to jump onto Junkertown, it's going to be Desperados on their attack. And obviously Desperados has played very, very well throughout the night. We know that Bastion is a cheesy strategy that we'll see come out sometimes. So we will see what they decide to come with. But with Bastion being the popular cheesy strategy, do you think we'll see that from either of these teams?
Yeah, I wouldn't hold it past anybody at this point. I mean, see Bastion come out in Overwatch League. We see double snipers being able to be played and suppress and oppress. So I wouldn't put it past anybody. But one thing that I definitely think is one of the stronger compositions coming out across the board in this current meta is adding a Junkrat to any composition that you have whatsoever. Unless there's, a direct fair in the sky, sometimes a Brigitte and a Junkrat isn't exactly what you want to deal with that, but it's still very strong coming out on defense. You can see coming out on defense now, it's going to be Cryius defending first on the sand dunes of Junkertown. First with Bison on the Junkrat. I like that with Rafiki as well on the Widowmaker, elongating that pressure and sightlines. Most teams typically go with solo heals on this map as well, another cheeky play style, and they stick that support or that flex support role onto a Roadhog or another DPS of sort to run another cheeky composition if you wanted to know.
Well, it will be the attack coming out from Desperados. Right now, they're just running the standard double sniper that we see a lot. Orisa, Roadhog, that'll be interesting. We haven't seen either of those if they decide to bring that out. I know that both of those are picks that we will see here on Junkertown. And like you talked about, the Junkrat and the Orisa on the defense. And they're on the defense, so we know that that's what they're going to be coming out. They won't be making any swaps, but it is going to be the Orisa and the Roadhog coming out for Desperados. Orisa is obviously a popular pick as Ignaro's on that as well as Pills gets taken out immediately. Good pick there from Afiki. What do you think of Pray for GG's on the Roadhog?
This is exactly what I was talking about, that you want to give all the healing to Garlic Bread on the Mercy, which is very interesting, all things considering that Garlic Bread was playing main tank for this team the entire time, is now on the main support role, but we'll be nearing a Valkyrie very, very quickly as Wolfer's going to return back a headshot onto Rafiki.
Yeah, it will be Garlic Bread, like you talked about. We've been seeing a lot of Reinhardt, but he will be the one that's on Mercy as they get this one underway. Pray for GG's right up here in this Orissa's face. Orissa down very low. That's Ignaro. But Ignaro trying to get healed up. No, he will get taken out as Pray for GG's locks up that kill on the Roadhog. Good start for Desperados on their attack. The side of Cryius will start to come back in and try to repair their defense. Short dude will get D-mech. But something else is very interesting from the side of Desperados is the attack Torb join. He's got a turret set up on the payload coming out from Galaxy.
A rendition of the payload of Doom, and they're gonna have Galaxy backed in the payload with Ultra, protecting all of that gold and the plush toys of Pachamari. Well, forgot the far spawns is gonna end up walking back, but it's okay because the payload takes a while to get through that little garage and billboard area anyway. Pills though, been playing off tank this entire time, flexing over to the Widowmaker and popping off that infrared sight so they know where the defense is going to be setting up, and they know that Bison's going to be setting up for this Riptire.
And the infra sight will come out. The Riptire only able to get the turret from Bison, so only able to catch the turret. Almost got a hook there by Pray for GG's. Desperados still keeping this one moving off to a hot start on their attack. Pray for GG's gonna rush right in here and try to take out this Ignaro. He's gonna bring out the whole hog, aim this one around, but there's not really anyone to hit as everybody scatters from the side of Cryius. Vengeful and Short Dude will start to come back in as this whole hog runs out, but Desperados is still keeping this one moving despite people on their team dying. Getting very close to this next checkpoint now, knowing that they have the numbers. The side of Cryius will start to come back in. Galaxy, or Garlic Bread, will come in and get that. Galaxy was who he got the res. He came in and got that one right in there in the middle of the action. And now the side of Desperados will start to come back out on top in this fight. OG and Vengeful still in here. The two supports, Ignaro will walk back in. Ignaro is in here now with no support, so he is going to actually just kind of in here toying with Ignaro. Is he will get taken out, but still, it's a strong start from Desperados. They'll hit this next checkpoint. Galaxy still on the attack, Torb join.
Rafiki went on a crazy flank there, ended up taking a hook around towards the window of the attacker's spawn, towards their spawn rather. And what was most interesting about that, just laying shots into the back of the bodies, missing most of the headshots, and it was just enough time for the hook not to be back on cooldown, and for the rest of the team just to walk back towards the main tank and just kind of hang out with Ultra.
2 checkpoints already for Desperados. Bison gets picked by Pills, but gets res back in. Pills playing well on the Widow. This attack Torb is still interesting. Dragon Strike will come across, and that'll zone the side of Cryius out as they're keeping this one moving, getting very close. Oh, Pills will take out Rafiki there. Good play there from Pills. Wolfer does get taken out as OG locks up that one, but the Riptire is coming out from Bison. He'll send this one into the back, not able to get anyone with it, and he gets taken out as well as Galaxy gets that kill. His turret will get taken out. He'll set up another one. Pray for GG's will get taken out mid-whole hog, but still, we're still keeping this payload moving. Our Desperados over 3/4 of the way to the third and final point.
Yeah, they're going to continuously pushing around this fidget spinner, not being stopped anytime soon, but it seems that they are finally met by a brick wall of defending team. Looking good on the swaps coming out. A lot of mid-range damage in between Rafiki and Bison, in between Hanzo and McCree in between. But the real player of this defending team, putting the team on his back, if anything, is OG, landing a lot of orbs of destruction. The entire team of Desperados so hard focused on everybody else but OG that he is able to flip a team fight of ease with some role plays orbs. Now we're back to where we started, but a massive flank coming through from the attacking team, going under with that Vega Pack.
That big name that you're talking about, OG got taken out. He will get res back in. Dragon Strike's gonna come across, not able to get anyone with it as the Transcendence came out from OG to try to keep everyone alive throughout that, but it's still players on his side falling. They came out for this attack from the backside as they came in through that middle right there. Pills gonna catch 2 kills, self-destruct, only able to get that turret. Short dude will hop back into the mech, but he'll defend it in here all alone at the moment. He'll get hooked in by Pray for GG's. He's gonna get D-mech'd, and now it's Baby Diva hopping around him there on the payload. He will get taken out. The rest of the side of Cryius will start to stagger in from this left side over here, but they're still keeping this one moving, getting very close to this third point. Bison will come in and try to force this one into overtime. The rest of Cryius will start to stagger in, but they're just 0.26 meters, and they will take it all the way right when they had that little moment of time there. So great attack from Desperados. They will take this one all the way, and now it'll be Cryius on their attack, and they are going to have their work cut out for them.
Gonna have a certain workout cut out for them indeed. I mean, they're gonna have to bring a giant knife to this, and they want to go ahead and cut into this defense anytime soon. But the biggest thing that I want to take note from here, Elite, was the biggest flexing of the entire team of Desperados. Pills is their off tank after all, and he was really going crazy on that Widowmaker left, right, and center. Rafiki and Bison not really knowing what to do, as these are different play styles that they are used to facing, though it is the same hero and there are in certain areas that they are used to be playing at. We all know in our competitive matches that not every Zenyatta is the same even.
Yeah, not at all. OG playing for what obviously played very, very well on the Zenyatta there. Just wasn't quite enough to hold off the big attack coming out from Desperados. We will see what Desperados decides to come out with on their defense. Right now, we saw very interesting picks from them on their attack. It was Galaxy on the Torb join. We'll see if they decide to stick with any of this. But right now, he is on the Reaper, and he's making his way out there like he's going to stick with this. So Galaxy on the Reaper, what do you think of this pick?
I think Reaper's a really good idea. Never the end. Reaper himself with the Wraith can cancel in this current patch, and he heals himself. So, I mean, you know, in the end, it is pretty nice to have in the front line to shut down the tanks. We know that he is a direct counter to Zarya. Just kind of wait around and see when that bubble goes down, and then you end up punishing them. But another hero that can do so is Junkrat, which Galaxy swaps over to anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, I watched him teleport all the way back to the spawn room and make that swap over to Junkrat as a... As someone that if I play DPS, it's usually Reaper. I'm kind of sad, but something else that's very interesting over on the side of Desperados. We do see the pirate ship coming out from the side of Cryius, but we see Wolfer on the May on Desperados.
Probably trying to pop up this Bastion. It's very popular, has always been, but the wall misses ever so slightly, and the charge misses ever so more. And now they're just kind of standing there. Wet Noodle's being chain gunned to hell.
Wolfer is able to take out Rafiki, but not before he sees people over on his team fall. He's trying to focus down Short Dude now, but Short Dude will throw up that big shield and be kept safe. Wolfer still in here on the May, throwing out these icicles, able to hit Rafiki with them, and those do quite a bit of damage, but he's still getting pocketed by OG throughout all of this. They're on a strong start right now on this big pirate ship sailboat strategy. Rafiki in here on the Bastion. Wolfer is still in here in the back, going head-to-head with Bison, but Bison's being pocketed by OG, and Wolfer will eventually get taken out as Bison locks up that kill, but a good attack from the side of Cryius as this gets started. They'll take this one all the way to the first checkpoint with virtually no defense from the side of Desperados, but after they're able to take that first point, we'll see swaps starting to come out from the side of Desperados. We see Galaxy making the swap over to Zarya, as well as Wolfer over on a Junk right now.
Yeah, that's a pretty good, smart idea. You want to go ahead and burst as much damage past the shield, so that way you can get into the Bastion's face as quick as possible. Junkrat is certainly the answer.
Yeah, Junkrat obviously very strong, and Wolfer very strong on him. They're still keeping this pirate ship strategy. Ultra will dive right in. Didn't take it down very low. He got nano boosted as well, but as soon as he got the nano boost, he was taken out. Ultra jumped in and was taken out, but right now he's the only person dead on the side of Desperados. They're keeping this push going. Ignoro's in there, but he's getting pocketed by OG, but it wasn't quite enough as he gets taken out as Wolfer locks up back here. Wolfer still chasing him down as he takes out OG as well. Good play from Wolfer on the Junkrat. Good play from Desperados. They made these swaps over and were able to adapt to what Cryius has brought out. They're still keeping this Bastion in here for Rafiki. He does have the configuration tank ready. Sometimes we see teams swap after hitting that first checkpoint, but Rafiki still going to come out on the Bastion.
I'm going to try to set up this tank configuration. He's dropping down, walking towards the payload, and that pick from Vengeful onto Garlic Bread's face is going to set up the payload of Doom once more.
With Garlic Bread already gone, like he just talked about, that will be Cryius' chance to get it, but an Earth Shatter is going to drop in from Ultra. He jumps in right behind him. It was followed up by the Dragon Strike. Wasn't able to get anyone with the Dragon Strike, but a good Earth Shatter from Ultra. Rafiki was caught in, but he's able to survive through it. He brought out the tank, but wasn't able to catch anyone. Dragon Strike comes across now as well from Bison. Both Dragon Strikes came across, neither of them able to get anyone, so it's still just these people swinging out with just dry fights right now. The Riptide is going to come out from Wolfer. We'll see if he can get anything big with it. Sending it up here into the back. The shot's going to miss from Vengeful, and he'll pay for it as he gets taken out by the Riptide. Trying to take that one out as soon as The Riptire showed itself, but Wolfer still able to get that kill. And they hit that next checkpoint. They have taken it a little over halfway towards the second one, but now where they're able to set up right here on this bridge, Desperados has set up a good defense. And we see Rafiki making the swap. He'll swap over to Genji and Bison over on the Tracer.
Yeah, big swaps coming around. Vengeful gonna fall again, but OG is gonna be right there on Mercy to get that resurrection off. Now we're gonna be looking at this solo heal attacking team coming out here as the secondary healer of Vengeful is going to stay on this Widowmaker. Very interesting pick, never in the end, triple DPS, but a lot of pressure on a Widowmaker.
And he's gonna get taken out as Wolfer was throwing those grenades up there. The grenade launcher, the noob tube coming out from him. He is able to take out Vengeful. It's tough for Vengeful to really be able to get any picks in while they're all gathered up behind that big shield. But the Earthshatter is gonna come out from short tube. That's gonna look like the chance to. That's gonna look like the chance to engage from Cryius. But Desperados still gonna come back and push heavy into this fight. Ultra's still in here pushing them, trying to take out Ignaro. He's getting pocketed through all this, but he will eventually get taken out. Bison blinking around here on the Tracer was able to take out Garlic Bread as well. So at the moment, it's the side of Cryius coming out on top in this fight. Bison still chasing down Wolfer and will lock up that kill. And it will be Cryius coming out on top in that fight, and they should be able to hit second checkpoint.
Yeah, it's just going to be inching its way around. There's no way that they can get a recontest coming through here for the defending team. Just better off to set up because you have a Wombo combo coming through here momentarily. Pray for GG's hanging out on this Ana. It's very scary considering that Rafiki, we've made a multitude of comments about how comfortable this competitive player is on Genji. And one of the clearest sightlines for Genji underneath that helmet is Ana, not mobile whatsoever, and can get obliterated all to hell. But Galaxy with the Graviton Surge, Pills now with the Dragon Strike. They're setting it up. They're pulling the trigger. Here it comes.
Yeah, they just sent out a ton of ultimates, 4 actually, coming out from the side of Desperados. They just wanted everything to come out there as they brought out Earth Shatter, Graviton Surge, Dragon Strike, and Riptire. I'm not sure if that was intended, but hey, I mean, they came out on top in the fight, I guess. So good fight for them as they blew a lot of ults there, but they'll come out on top. And over on the side of Cryius, we see them making the swap over to full dive. Rafiki and Bison on the Genji and the Tracer. They've been on those for a few minutes now, but Ignaro and Short Dude following it up with the Winston and the Diva. So full dive coming out from the side of Cryius.
And they're going to have to swap to something because they need to get through these small chokes very quickly. And if you want to spend all those ultimates, that was the time to do it because it's so hard just to get through that small area, especially with a massive amount of damage coming through, especially once that nano boost was popped onto Ultra upon entry of the attacking dive.
Desperados comes out big on top, big in that fight. Bison was in there behind enemy lines trying to take out these supports. Pills turned right around and popped him right in the face with an arrow. So good play from Pills in here on the Hanzo. Bison is actually going to blink right up and try to fight him again, but he'll be forced to recall back. Ignaro's going to dive right in here onto these back lines, but he'll get taken out by a big hammer swing there from Ultra again. Desperados pushing back Cryius. D-Mac Diva, little baby Diva, Earth Shatter, just kind of solo Earth Shatter Short Dude there as Ultra locks up the kill onto the baby Diva. And again, Desperados will come out on top. Cryius will prepare for another fight, and Rafiki will have the Dragon Blade ready in this fight. Ignaro and Short Dude on the dive still trying to work their ults up. Over on the side of Desperados, we see Wolfer has swapped out the Junkrat and swapped over to McCree.
And this Brawl is starting to favor the side of the attacking team as they are all full dive. So high mobile characters just able to get in there as deep as all get out. But Galaxy stalling out on the payload for quite a while is just going to stall himself out, but it's going to give his team the amount of time to resustain themselves in the spawn room and recontest this payload momentarily is 6, and they have the ultimates to do so.
They do have ultimates, and we see 4 ultimates ready as well over on the side of Cryius. So Self-Destruct is going to come out right now, as well as the Dragon Blade is going to come out from Rafiki. He'll dive in and swing this one around. It was a good transcendence that came out from Garlic Bread to keep his entire team held up throughout this. Here comes the Dragon Strike coming out from Pills. Throughout all this, Cryius isn't exactly on the payload. This thing needs to keep moving. They kind of got off of it a little bit there for the moment. Garlic Bread down very low. Wolfer brought the Deadeye, but wasn't able to get anything with it. It does get the D-Mech on a Short Dude, and that will be Desperado continuing to push in as they're able to lock up the kill onto Baby Diva Short Dude. There goes OG as well. And now it's just Rafiki in here, and he had a biotic grenade on him, so he will fall as well. And that will probably be the last fight. We will see if Bison can get in here for a last second.
Oh!
Oh, well, he will not be able to. He got hit by the charge there at the moment, I believe, and he got knocked back away, so was unable to make it in, and it will be Desperados taking the win on Juggertown and taking the series 4-0.
Yeah, looking pretty flexible, all things considering. They really got pushed to the brink off of that payload of doom and having to flex immediately onto something that was going to work and really putting most of their Sedway right here on to second point where they made their stronghold of their attack. Big headshot in that play of the game from Wolfer. Really impressive Hanzo coming out here tonight. Great play from Desperados. They take the win 4-0. Clean sweep from their side. Played very, very well, and it was pretty strong wins, pretty strong play from them in pretty much every game. We saw the 100 zeros that came out on Ilios, and it was just great play all around. They walked in and won the one on Numbani, and then Volskaya just with dry pushes on their first attack. So obviously, great play from Desperados. Everybody played very, very well from that side. But if I were to ask, would you have an MVP for the night? Honestly, there wasn't an MVP for me, all things considering. I think everybody all played very well on both of these teams. That if I had to give one format of anything, it was probably to the tank line of Desperados, just really sticking tried and true to the grit in the dirt, to stick with their team and keeping them alive, to keep Pray for GG's, discording everybody and get the follow-up. Big in-game leadership across the board. But no, both teams just played very, very well. No player really stuck out all too much for me in particular tonight, my friend, but both these teams did, in fact.
Great play from Desperados. They take the win 4-0. They take the series. Great play from them all around. And my name has been Elite. I will throw it back to my good friend Panda to close it out for the evening. Buddy, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight on this rendition of Broadcast.GG Scrib Nights. If you are interested in joining us in the community fun, you want to join and learn how to be a caster, producer, host, analyst, or anything else in between, just have a good time in chat, go ahead and click that follow button. Click on that Discord link so that way you can join in on us. There is a Weeb channel that I am very active in as well from time to time whenever I get my chance to watch anime at the end. But do us a favor, check out our own personal social media, including our beautiful producer, Morai, in the back. She's been doing fantastic all evening, catching those highlights and the reels in between. My name's from Pokemon Panda with Elite here. Thank you so much, and have a good night.